And mahalo for supporting Kauai Community Radio. Stay tuned for Naleo Hawaiian Issues.
Hey, oh, yeah. Hawaiian. Kama kona muku kama awayo ke kama kahuli nu kama kahuli hulia papio a ilalo kelo hulia ikainu o kumki ilolo o kahana ana ia hiki o hula ka ia ka ali o kapaku me ka upena aku au ani o ka unu o ni o lani o la o kia vi ai ku ai ala aia eu ai kama kona muku kama awai o ke kama ka huli nu kama ka huli o huli hia papio a ilalo ikielo huli hia ikeimu o kuma ki lolo o kahana ana ia hiki o hula ka ia ka ali o ka paku me ka upena aku au I hani o ka unu o ni o lani o la o kia vi ai ku ai ala aia na ia la pepe ka honu o ka moku I ha ala ia e ka kiu velo ka pu ko velo lohi a kanalo hei noa no kama
song that I think is beautiful, written by Helen D. Shea Beamer, about a home place that belonged to a friend of hers, a gentleman's name Jim Henderson. And the song was written for his home that was located in Pihonua, on the island of Hawaii. Pihonua is somewhat near Hilo.
Hawaiians, tell me what you need. Trying to take what the Kanaka Maoli got, just to satisfy the government's greed. Hawaiians, tell me what you want. Kanaka Maoli, tell me what you need. We must never forget what our kupuna taught, even if I have to bleed. The educator, manako deeper than a crater. You should've known by now that I'll be back sooner or later with even greater. Mana, you know they didn't wanna ever go down while they see us rising like an elevator. But it's time for the indigenous uprise. I see the fire burning in the children's eyes. Another freeway, another hey y'all dies. It's time to make the government choke on their lies. The term Hawaiian homes is a joke to me, cause every piece of land is Hawaiian homes to me. But in order to be a resident, your blood must be 50%. Whoever thought of that law is an idiot to me. So we're living on the beach and you call us squatters, because we're living off our own land, fishing from our own waters. I promise, our fight will never be over. Just try and run us over with your damn bulldozer. I rap for my people, I cry for my people, I live for my people, I die for my people. What you see is what you get, take me as I am. And I ain't never had an uncle named Sam. To all my people, tell me what you want. Hawaiians, tell me what you need. Trying to take what the Kanaka Maoli got, just to satisfy the government's greed. Hawaiians, tell me what you want. Kanaka Maoli, tell me what you need. We must never forget what our kupuna taught, even if I have to bleed.
Yo, they think it's a battle zone, but it's damn sure right, cause it's yo, also my home, and I'm prepared to fight. I reminisce about the past and the present. Obviously, the other color didn't listen, so let me break it down like division and fraction. It's time to take position and counter their action, cause if they're doing this, then we be doing that. But if they're doing that, then we be doing this. Don't get my people pissed, cause it turns real radical. We're nothing like a rush right in front of the Capitol. Supporting sovereignty, we're all the same kind. Ready or not, believe me, they gon' try to cross a line, but it better not be mine, or the back of any kind. Yo, I done try to stand up for what's mine. I write another rhyme or whatever it takes to accomplish all these dreams I was made up in the mix.
All my people, tell me what you want. Hawaiians, tell me what you need. Trying to take what the Kanaka Maoli got, just to satisfy the government's greed. Hawaiians, tell me what you want. Kanaka Maoli, tell me what you need. We must never forget what our kupuna taught, even if I have to bleed.
Hawaiian lyricists, be soft and serious warriors. Step into the mist, tell me how you feeling this. It's dynamite and I'm ready to ride. Despise the crooked man, so I'll sever my tie. Ain't no strings attached, y'all know I keep it mellow while you tripping. Pulling the strings like you's a better Mr. Sam. You the man, acting like you give a damn. I ignite and fight for my homeland. I'm pulling weight in my bar. I'm in your pocket rocking with this tune in my car. Knocking at the clock, yeah, we styles this band. Let me disperse this verse for Mr. President to represent. So tell me where the justice went. Your lack of compensation is insufficient. Can't run from the past, can't hide from the truth. And I still ain't wearing no soldier boots.
All my people, tell me what you want. Hawaiians, tell me what you need. Trying to take what the Kanaka Maoli got, just to satisfy the government's greed. Hawaiians, tell me what you want. Kanaka Maoli, tell me what you need. We must never forget what our kupuna taught, even if I have to bleed.
Hawaiians, tell me what you want. Hawaiians, tell me what you want. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
But this is where we live, and this is what we gotta take care of. So the Hawaii's in the house, the Hawaii's out there, all the people living in Hawaii, along Mako, Yao, Kopa, Kahia, Pao.
Yeah, where are the Hawaiians? You stay there.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. How are you today on this somewhat rainy?
Oh, sorry, background music.
Hello.
Background music.
I got your background. Anyway, I'd like to give an area forecast for the state of Hawaii, because everybody is saying, what's happening, what's happening? Well, as early as 10:07 a.m. this morning, the report is Hurricane Lester will continue to pass just north of the state.
Yay!
Tonight. Yeah. While the stronger winds around the circulation are expected to remain just outside the coastal waters, deep moisture around the periphery will move over the islands today, keeping conditions wet over mainly windward and some interior portions of the state. Now, as Lester lifts north of the island chain on Sunday, a humid and somewhat unstable southeasterly flow will bring the possibility of spotty heavy showers. Typical trade wind will flow. A typical trade wind flow will develop on Monday and continue throughout the week. Discussion regarding this hurricane, well, it's currently north of the Big Island and will pass well over 100 miles north of Maui County today. Now, the greatest impact on the state will be the large and potentially damaging surf. But heavy rainfall could develop over portions of the island chain as deep moisture along the periphery of Lester moves overhead. Breezy northwest or northeast winds will persist over the western end of the island chain throughout the day, while winds turn northerly, then variable over the eastern half of the state. This process is already underway on the Big Island, where afternoon sea breezes are expected to produce heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms as precipitable water values approach 2 inches. Across the smaller islands, clouds and showers will remain piled up along windward and north-facing terrain through the day, especially on Hawaii and Oahu. Though we cannot rule out heavy shower developing over interior portions of Maui as sea breezes take over later in the day. Now, the official Central Pacific Hurricane Center forecast has Lester lifting to the northwest of Oahu and Kauai tonight. Deep moisture will remain in place, raising the possibility for spotty heavy showers over Kauai and Oahu, while developing southeasterly flow shifts the focus of rainfall to windward and southeast slopes of the Big Island and Maui County. And also, as Lester moves away from the state on Sunday and Sunday night, a humid southeasterly flow will develop across all islands. While rainfall should be primarily focused over windward slopes, a moist and somewhat unstable atmosphere with precipitable water values in excess of 1.75 inches will raise the possibility of a few heavy showers and a chance of thunderstorms over all islands during the afternoon. So, for all you individuals out there, if you like go hiking, just chill out for a bit, because you don't want to get stuck in terms of, flash flood kind, and go with nature's, water slide off a cliff. You don't want to do that. So, for all you visitors, it's always best to stay close to your hotel room or your illegal vacation rental, or wherever you may be staying. Yeah. So this way, and also for those of you who are, renting from an illegal vacation rental, insurance speaking wise, if the place get caught in a flash flood, don't expect the owners for pay damages. Okay. I'm just saying, yeah. Anyway, for those of you who are, smart enough for stay in a hotel or, a legal vacation rental, then, you just check with the management in terms of what's happening. And above all, be safe. All right? This is Labor Day weekend. So all you mothers out there who are in labor, girl, it's okay. It's okay. It won't be that bad. For some of you. For others, I don't know. Anyway, be safe this weekend, and if anything, especially you brought us out there, no drink and drive. If you're going to drink, park it. Give the key to somebody else. You know what I mean? Designate a driver who no drink at time, or just stay put. and suck them up until the whole weekend's over. Don't go nowhere, okay? Because we want you safe too. So that's the sort of kind of local, kind of half local, half hurricane center kind weather report.
Yeah, and I'm really, because that was it still is pretty well-defined hurricane, but it is passing north, and if it stays on course, it should pass north of us, but like you said, we might get some increase in swells and stuff, but the main thing I'm concerned that it didn't come right over us. So we dodged two bullets, the one that went south.
But you know what? We still got to be careful, because you know what? Everybody thought that Hurricane Nikki was going to go bye, and the next one, hooey.
True, but looking at some of the patterns that they're saying, the wind patterns doesn't show that it's highly unlikely that it'll do a left turn or right turn like Iniki did. So, but again, we can't control Mother Nature. So thank God that right now it's above. It looks like it's above Molokai and Maui, and the circular thing is above, so it's not dipping down yet. So. Cool. If it does that, then it should pass north of us. And thank you, Keakua, because
I know, mahalo keakua for that one.
I wouldn't mind not seeing another hurricane for the rest of my life. So one was enough. One was enough.
Yeah, because you know why? The hurricanes here, we out in the middle of the deep blue sea island kind, and bare to the forces of nature, and it could do some major damage. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had some people going, well, they're always calling this and nothing happens. Like, you thank the Lord that nothing happens, because Kauai people went through Iniki. We hear hurricane, we get ready. Okay, we get ready. And then we pray that we don't have to use what we got ready for. So, hey.
Well, it's funny. Over here in Oahu, some of my cousins are having a party. We're having one birthday luau down in Waianae. And what happens is it's known as the Waianae birthday party luau. So it's funny because I look at it this way, and they show them, Facebook stuff on it this morning. And beautiful, beautiful weather they're having. But then also you see off in the distance, the cloud front, you know what I mean? That one of the whips of rain and everything, and then you see them. And I know, I still see them over here. It's a little closer to us because we see them Pearl City, but yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up, Cuz, we got the weather out of the way, and hopefully it stays out of the way, but I wanted to bring up, because one thing, I wanted to bring up a lot of things, but the one thing is, if you saw that Syngenta, the one that Beth Tokioka is working for, who's the new spokesman, who leased a lot of lands over there on the west side.
Yeah.
They just got approval, and their major holder now is the Chinese government. The company that's taking over or a bid, and they just got the U.S. regulators to okay it, which is like the major holder. The company is a Chinese state-owned company, which means it's owned by the communist state, the government. And that leads me, just on a side note, I never heard of billionaire communists. So what kind of government is China now? They say they're communists, but usually communists, the real communist is not where they take everyone last rate, but you're supposed to share everything. So what kind of communist is the Chinese doing when you have multimillionaires and billionaires coming out of a communist country? Doesn't that conflict with your theology of communism? That now you have billionaire Chinese communists? It doesn't match. But what concerns me now is Syngenta is now basically owned mostly the interests by the communist country of China, which makes, hey, we owe them, well, not us, the United States owes them trillions of dollars, and what a great group of leaders to put our okole, the United States, in the hands and under the budget of the Chinese. I don't like what's going on, but hey, Now we have communist Syngenta. I mean, they're owned by the Chinese government. They're communist. Hello.
Well,
and you know what? And because we just got a caller online, let's put him on. What's up? You're online with Nale Hawaiian Issues. Hello.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, what's up, Danny?
I just came in my house and turned the radio on because, like I say, I always look forward to you guys' show.
Wow.
And I just heard just what you were talking about just for a few seconds right there. So can I just go off topic for a second? And I know what I'm going to say is going to have some kind of relevance to the universe and everything that's going on in it. Could I tell you what just happened right now?
You got the floor.
Fantastic. There's a big macaw parrot on Kilauea Avenue, about halfway down from the mini market towards Kung Wong.
Yeah.
And for years I've been, I put a little, like a lot of people, we walk by and we put a little sunflower seeds in the little dish.
Okay.
You get access. He lives in this about a 6x6, by 6 cage, right?
Wait. And Danny, I know you're getting started. Hold on. Let me do the legal stuff and we'll get right back in. So hold on. Okay, hang on. And we're back on air with Nale Hawaiian Issues. We have Mahilani Silver on the phone. Yeah. And Danny, you had this thing that probably...
Oh, okay, I'll finish it off. It just goes to show...
Well, you're on air now.
Okay, hi. I was in the cage just with my little scrub brush cleaning out the water dish, the scummy black water dish, and the people come home, the other people. The old Filipino man has just given me permission to do this, right? And they go, hey, get out of the cage or we're going to call the cops. And I try to explain, I'm just going to clean out the water, and I'll be right out, and they go, get out. They didn't want to hear it, and I go, okay, I'm out of here. See you later, But it just goes to show when you try to help people, because I've done so much for this bird, I spent money, basically hundreds of dollars on bird seed and stuff. I've given it baths. I've cleaned out the water dish. I've done all this. They know this. I used to give scrap meat to their dogs too. I saw their dogs at this one time where these dogs were in this little kennel. It was the most filthy, sickening, disgusting, poop-filled environment. I went in there for a couple of times. It took me a whole hour to clean out their dog kennels, And here, after all this, and I've been doing this for years, today, instead of going, wow, thanks, Danny, for helping us and being so kind, such a nice guy, they threatened to call the cops if I don't get out.
They don't appreciate it, so I wouldn't do anything for those people anymore. Yeah, it
just goes to show about, what anybody does, whatever righteous trip that you do, whether it's like helping an old lady walk across the street or free Hawaii from the oppressed, the clutches of the United States government or whatever, at the end of the day, you may not get appreciated for it. And in fact, you may be persecuted for it, and it was just the most rude, the thing is that I'm battling is that I'm tempted to want to lay a curse on this one person. Not the nice old Filipino man, so beautiful and kind and righteous, but this one other lady, and I'm not capable of cursing, doing an incantation or.
Okay, Danny. So we just don't. But we get what you. We get what you're saying. I mean, and I wouldn't do anything for these people. They don't appreciate what you have done.
Well, it was never about them. It was noticing that this animal.
Well, they know you. They know you've done it. So, I mean, what's the problem when you do it?
It's like they feed this big macaw who should eat bulk like peanuts and sunflower seeds and bananas and apples. They feed it parakeet, wild bird seed. You know what I mean? And it's not about the people. It's about noticing. In this world, when you notice if you see like this poor like animal or a person or something on the corner, toss, give to the guy. Maybe this guy needs $1 of spare change.
Well, I mean, but you just don't know. There are people out there who don't give a rat's butt. Really, you could be helping them all, and they don't care. So, what I would suggest. Don't do anything for those people or for that bird anymore.
Well, I'll do what everybody else does is on the street, off the sidewalk, you can throw some seeds in, but I'll never go in and do what I've done. And I hope, that the bird won't will be okay because of the water. The water will always constantly get dirty. But
I know,
hope
but it's
it'll
something
be
like
okay.
it's something like my brother-in-law said. You can't put the weight of you can't do everything, Danny. That's
right,
their
yeah,
bird. They got to
right.
clean the bird crap in the water too. You can't do it for them, and obviously, if you have, they don't give a crap. So
Yeah.
I would put your energy somewhere else.
Well, listen, I appreciate it. And somehow, thanks, because it does apply to whatever issues you're dealing with, whatever topics you're dealing with. Because you're this is just about one little bird on the street corner in Kilauea. You're dealing with this huge issue of Hawaiian sovereignty and all your forebears, your ancestors, and all the big things that you have to deal with. This is nothing. This is just a little microcosm of what you're dealing with.
But it's like you hit on the nail. It's that human nature. If these people knew that you're helping the bird, if they knew you were buying stuff and taking care of the bird, and you're just in there to help the bird and clean it out, and they told you to get out, they're going to call the cops. Obviously, you don't want to deal with these people.
Over and go, hey, Danny,
don't deal with them anymore, Danny. Danny,
yes.
don't deal with them. They're not worth it. And
They're not worth it.
And like I said, I can't save all the
my-
dogs in the world. The owners have to take responsibility, and we just can't save all the dogs in the world. I wish I could.
Yeah,
we can't.
Yeah, you're right.
Let them take care of their own bird.
The bottom line is after doing all this stuff,
We got it.
threaten me with the police. That's just like, treading on hallowed ground.
I know, Danny.
I go, yeah,
so
okay,
the
I'll
best
see
thing to
you
do,
later.
let it go.
Bye.
They're not worth it. I can hear you.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. And that's why I left. I got right up. I didn't argue with him. I go, see you later. Bye. You know what I mean?
We got it,
they
Danny.
had to interject that one authority. Like, they didn't have to go that deep. They could have gone, hey, look, we'll do it, Danny. You don't need to do it. Thanks anyway. Have a nice day. But, it's just sad and pitiful.
It is.
And I really appreciate you, Randy.
No problem, Danny.
And Mrs. Silver for letting me vent on the show. I hope I haven't wasted.
Oh, we know
anybody's
about venting,
time.
so and what's good after venting? Just go and have a Snicker bar, and everything's okay.
That's what I'm going to do, man. I'm
All
gonna
right,
shut
Danny.
up now, and thank you so much.
All right, Danny. Aloha.
I really appreciate it.
All right, mahalo.
Hello. It sounds like you guys when you go off.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
and
you know what? It's good. It's good that he called in and vented like that. You know what?
Well, because I mean,
sometimes-
and I understand. You're taking care of them, and all of a sudden these people who know you were taking them, and then they get out, and you just help them take care of the animals. It's I had to. I'll just say it. I mean, dogs runs around in Waipaque. We don't really care. We shoo them away, but they're dogs. We love them and everything. But I got a call yesterday. Hey, you got these two dogs there, and they were nice and stuff. But they're like, well, maybe your dogs might fight. Oh, my dogs don't fight. But it is that kind of. I don't know. We didn't have any problems before, and now it's changed our whole way we live over here with these different styles of people with their different ways of doing things. And that's the way it is. And we got another phone call.
But you know what?
We got another caller, Cuz. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Melio. Wait, Cuz. We have a caller on the air. Their first caller. You have the floor.
Yeah, I heard you. But it's a Mainland mentality that's coming over.
Cuz, we have the caller. They're on the air. Can you let them, and then we'll get back to you? Because we got plenty of time. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'll make this brief. Commenting on the previous caller, my heart goes out to him. I mean, he has he has such a good, loving heart, But the problem is, for the whole world situation, and along with the Hawaiian sovereignty issue, is, we have to focus on root causation and root solution. We can't treat the symptoms. It's just like people trying to feed stray dogs or whatever. And Thoreau said there are 1,000 striking at the branches of evil to one who is striking at the root. And it's just like the government wants to throw some bones to the Hawaiian people. Here's a little bit of money. Go home and shut up and forget about justice. But, we have to pressure those who have the power to get things equal, equal political, economic, and social access. And so that's all I want to say, So, and I appreciate your show a great deal. Thank you.
Mahalo.
Yeah.
And and he kind of hit. I know what he was doing. He was bringing that into attention because of, like the Hawaiian people, like you mentioned too, is that we invited everyone here, we aloha everybody, and now the people we invited here are saying you no longer can have your country, and because we're all here now. And it's like, what? And to go over and see that Ben Cayetano, when he was doing that debate, and I played it on the show, to him debate, and for him, Ben Cayetano, a Filipino man who was a governor, hey, kudos to him, you made it up to be governor, but for a Filipino man to sit there and tell us Hawaiians that they can have their country, and then they can come here and they can take over our country by saying we, together with all the Haoles and other, what they call themselves, Hawaiians, I don't call them Hawaiians, that they support a foreign government overtaking Hawaii, to tell Hawaiians that, but you can't. I find that offensive. And I was like, who are you to tell the Hawaiian people we can't have our country, but your people can have your country, and then come over here and then demand that Hawaiians give up our country? I don't think so. And with that, I think I need to take a musical break.
Buana
We're coming up on the 12 o'clock hour. Kind of running the board different because our main speaker is out, so I'm running off mic too. So a little bit different. So there's a little bit of confusion when Cuz was on the air. We were getting couldn't tell who was on and who was out. There was a lot of people talking, so I couldn't distinguish. So hopefully Cuz will call back. If not, then we're going to continue on with one of the things that was just in the paper was that the court denies appeal case in about the Native Hawaiian election. And this is still a thing that's one of the major things that are, well, there's a lot of things happening to the Hawaiian people. But why we and others are looking at the DOI position is because this is going to make law. Okay? Once they seal this up, it is law, and then they can point to it as this is law, and then they can point to it as this is what we're going to enforce. So this whole thing about Na'aupuni and all those who support it, who are trying to say that they represent the Hawaiian people, but they weren't voted. Then it's just such a mess. And when you put it down to very simplistic terms, the DOI heard from the Hawaiian people. Brought this up many times. It's already on record, and it's on YouTube. But the latest thing is that court denies appeal in case about Native Hawaiian election. The court denies appeal in case about the Native Hawaiian election, and it says a federal appeals court Monday dismissed an appeal about whether a vote seen as a step towards self-governance for Native Hawaiians should be open to only Native Hawaiians or to all of the state's registered voters, saying that the issue does not merit consideration because the U.S. Supreme Court issued an injunction against such a vote. Okay, the U.S. Supreme Court already issued an injunction against the vote. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also said it was dismissing the appeal because the Na'aupuni group of Native Hawaiians dissolved in April. Really? The group did not want non-Native Hawaiians to elect 40 delegates to draft a self-government document. Keliakina, who's also running for OHA, who was among those saying it wasn't right for non-Native Hawaiians to be excluded from the vote, said he and other plaintiffs were reviewing the appeals court decision to determine whether it would take additional legal steps. The appeals court cited that the Supreme Court December decision halting the vote and said it was impossible that another Hawaii-based group may try to hold an election towards self-governance in the future. But because no vote is scheduled, any opinion by the appeals court issued now would be an impermissible advisory opinion that would, at most, and this is a quote, guide any future ratification efforts. And that was from the panel of 3 judges at the appeal court. The lawyer who used to represent Na'aupuni did not immediately respond to a telephone message, the paper says. Native Hawaiians have sought self-determination, but there are differing opinions about what it would look like from federal recognition to restoring the overthrown Hawaiian kingdom to dual citizenship. Well, there's different opinions, but there's one basically that splits all the rest from all the other ones, and that is those semi-Hawaiians who call themselves Hawaiians who still want the United States, a foreign government, to continue to be our sugar daddy, and they tell us what to do, and we have to do what they say. And that's where the propaganda that's being spewed across to the community, the Hawaiians get it, but the majority of the people who are non-Hawaiians who are not involved are seeing this as an opportunity for Hawaiians. But we know that, and it's clearly stated that all this, they talk about self-determination, blah, 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 blah. But on the bottom line of the DOI proposal, you're still subject. No matter what comes out of this DOI thing, whatever comes out is still subject to the laws of the United States. So that's not self-government. That's not self-determination, because you're still under the thumb of a foreign government. So the appeals was denied, so they're not going to act on that. They're saying the Na'aupuni has disbanded, even though there's still a push to get Hawaiians to sign off on the Department of Interior deal. Not notwithstanding all the other problems we got on the island, our taxes, our bones being dug up, our access rights, our land rights, all that, this is the puppy that will determine everything. That's why I focus on this. And we already know the United States lied to our face. Again, we know this. And they want to make this official policy. So, with all the other issues we got, this is the puppy that trumps everything, because this is going to become law. And the United States wants this to become law. Why? Because they have nothing on record saying Hawaiians said it's okay for you to come and take our country. Nothing. And if you Americans still think, oh, there's no problem, then why is the Department of Interior coming down here to asking us to sign off? So we know what's going on. We know we're being lied to, and they continue this. It hasn't stopped, and this is what, 2016? And we're being still lied to our faces, in front by their representative, in front of everybody. They told us at the meetings they would incorporate our answers. And what they did, Hawaiians? They reneged on that again. So the Hawaiians that are going to trust this type of government that lies to your face, hey, you go for it. But the majority of us know, hey, laters, for real. And that's Nale Hawaiian Issues at the top of the hour. This is Naukana. Hopefully Cuz' phone is okay and she can call back. If not, we're going to continue the education and the expansion of our knowledge on what is actually happening, because this is important. This will determine, override everything. If this becomes law, overrides everything, and then we will be officially the children of the United States who don't have a word, who can't protect our lands, can't reinstitute our government, and cannot protect our people because we're in the thumbs of foreigners who do not care what happens to the Hawaiian people. How do I know? Look at Moloa. No one cares that Hawaiian's family has been wiped out by taxes, by quiet title, by forced sales. No one cares. The only one who cares is Hawaiians who see that and go, how come no more Hawaiians over there? Very few. Go to Lehua. How come not too many Hawaiians over there? Because we're being pushed out of our own land. And that's why I believe in the aloha spirit, but the ikaika spirit has to come back too. Hawaiians are wonderful with aloha. We're also our fighters. And that's why those people who stand up and continue to stand up, aloha no. And Naleo Hawaiian Issues is made possible by listeners like you in partnership with Kamauokalele and KCC, Kauai Community College, an institute of higher learning. And when you have an institute of higher learning, you have to speak the truth. Hello. some Hawaiian music to ease on back to the Hawaiian issues. It's not like Hawaiian issues. Hopefully, because his phone is okay, or maybe she went lunch or something. But that's okay, because we're still going to go with what our program is, and this to educate and hear voices. We had people calling in before, and I want to focus on the DOI again. And there's other stuff going up. We had some the Ahamoku were calling around, anti-Aggie them. There's a situation. Let me see if I can pull it up. Of invasive species, which you don't have to be a scientist to see. You look around coming up by Kalihiwai on the road. You see all those big leaf things climbing up those trees. That's not native. That's rubbish plants growing on all over the trees. My property in Waipake, they brought in all this crappy, I don't know what they call it, but it grows on everything. It crawls all over. It's a thick kind of weed. When I did some research on it, it was brought in by the people on a big island, and it's a native of Brazil. And they bought it so at that time they could it would camouflage their outhouses at the time, at the turn of the century. Now it's spread to all islands, and it grows over everything. It climbs everything. But I noticed this one tree on my land that doesn't grow on, I don't know if there's a chemical reaction or whatever, but it grows on everything as a thick blanket. So we got problems with all these invasive species, more that you can, some of them you can see more readily. Like, I know everyone, you go up to that back road between where the county offices, and you go back and you come up by the Kukui Grove Theaters. When you go there, you can see all that rubbish growing up too. All that stuff covering the trees, that's all rubbish that's been brought in, that's foreign stuff, that is just, it's just taking over everything. And unless collectively we do something about it, but I even called the state about it, it's so out of control, they're saying it's not even worth going after it. But then we lead to the problem, like Danny said in the beginning, everyone's just like, it's no longer community sense, that, so it's not on my property, so no one gives a rat's butt on whether it's climbing all over the place. There's not a community effort to clean the stuff up, and it's gotten so out of hand that even the state feels it's not even worthy to go after it. But there was, I'm trying to pull it up from part of the Ahamoku, and I didn't even know about, it's called Salvinia. And salvinia is this thing that like chokes up waterways and lakes and stuff. And it's like, it's just crawling all over the place. So this was to, and actually when I'm talking about, we have a phone caller, so we always go to them first. And it's a cleanup in, I think it's going to, stream removal. I'll try to pull that up. But another invasive species that's just taking over our waterways. But we have a phone caller, so we'll put them on. Hold caller on the air with Naleo Hawaiian Issues.
I'm so glad you're talking about the crawling vines that are out of control.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
The county, this is interesting. The owners of my property that I've been on for over 20 years, they were told by the county that they had to clear the streams before the winter months because of the heavy rains. They spent thousands of dollars clearing all these invasive species, trees and vines, and thousands of dollars. But what happened is nobody else followed the directions of the county, so now everybody's properties on either side of us have taken over because it's not a community. They just didn't listen to them. They were telling my landowners who are, you have to clear this in case of rain. So, and now it's all back twice as bad.
Wow, because
nobody else spent the money to clear their streams upstream from us, so all this stuff is now growing into our property again.
Yeah, and this stuff is nasty.
Oh, especially the one that looks at the big elephant leaves. Those things, that'll cause major skin irritation. A friend of mine who was helping me cut some of that from strangling our avocado tree ended up in the hospital from an allergic reaction.
Yeah, it just seems like we're messing with the earth, and this is the only place we got. I know they're looking for other planets, but like, what? So we can screw up this one, and we can't even reach the other planets. I think we got to take care of the one that we're on. And like you
No
said,
kidding.
it's just this mindset that it's not my problem, it's your problem. And then there's I know we do try to do like community efforts and stuff, but it's like the stuff that really affects the earth where, I don't know, we're just putting our head in the sand.
I know, and when you say there's just no community help, I just know all I keep thinking of is after Aniki, how every neighbor helped everybody else. It would be man for himself if we had one now. Every man for themselves.
And I know there are efforts like this one. My auntie, who's Auntie Aggie from Anahola, the Ahamoku. I don't know if you heard that. They're trying to institute where you have representatives in the districts where they're from, like the Ahupua'a, and you help do things. And they were putting out the thing for the. I didn't even ever heard of this. It's called Salvinia.
No.
Or that's it's something that grows in the. It grows in the lakes and the ponds, and it just wipes out everything because it gets so thick that it eats up the oxygen and everything. And I'm sorry I can't find the original one, but they're asking.
Oh, I think I know. That's the one I'm talking of. It's a white and green.
Yeah, and it takes over the like lakes and stuff, and like the Aloio Manu Association. I guess that's where it's over there. There was one. They're calling for another one. And
I'm looking now for somebody to take away some of the stuff I pulled down, and I don't have a truck. Is there people that will help you bring it, get rid of it?
I don't know. You're probably going to have to just call, look in the phone book, but before you could just let it dry and burn, but now you can't even do that.
No, we can't burn. You can't burn your organic garden so that you can use that ash to replenish the land.
Exactly. That's how we did it too. And now, even my neighbors in Waipaki, the piles of this green stuff is getting so huge. I mean, I have to put rat traps every single day. It is out of control. It is out of control. And the state knew that. The health department made the statement, well, we know that people will stop the burning.
Don't go into the health department with me. They don't even know what's going on, and they're in denial because they don't want the tourists to change their reservation.
And, if you don't mind, I have another caller. I'll put you on hold. You're going to be on there, but we'll have the other caller join us. Hello, caller. You're on the air with everybody else. We're discussing.
Off the radio.
There you go.
That stuff's called pothos or pothos.
Pothos.
Or pothos, and they sell it at the nursery.
What?
And, and it's for sale. They plant it all over my job and stuff too. And I have a job across from Kalihiwai Ridge, at the bluff over there, and the guys plant it everywhere, and it's crazy, man.
Lord.
See, I'm trying to catch.
So that stuff's for sale at the nursery. It's called pothos, and it's the same stuff that grows giant on the big trees, like you're saying.
And it strangles the fruit-bearing trees.
Yeah,
it just grows right up the trunk of it.
Okay, right. Here, this is the one. Now that's the one the big leaves one. Then you got the small leaf one that crawls all over and makes those. My wife thinks they're pretty wooden roses. But I told him that's rubbish.
Glory
and it's going all over the place.
Like
but this other one that was a weed alert that I was just sent to is called the Salvinia molesta. Now that is illegal. You are not supposed to have it here.
More like fresh water, like clog the whole waterway.
Right, and they're saying this isn't a water. It's a water fern that can reproduce extremely rapidly, doubling its number to 2 to 10 days. Extremely small fragments are visible. But big problem in Lake Wilson on Oahu could have been avoided with awareness and prevention. It's a native to Brazil, and the plant is federally prohibited in the U.S. and is therefore illegal to sell or possess. But as we know, people brought it in, threw it out, and now it's everybody's problems.
Yeah, and they had talking about this same thing on another show. They were talking about the cleanup they're going to do and how careful you have to be when you clean it up. Because if you clean it up and you think you got it all cleaned up and there's one little thing on your net.
That's it.
One little thing on that. And you go somewhere else, then it's boom over there and you didn't even know it.
Well, I spent 2 weekends ago pulling down lily koi that went wild, only to find finally the trunk of it on my property. But that's another thing that I know everybody loves lily koi, but not if it's a blanket over all your trees and it's killing it.
Yeah,
and
you have to control it.
Right.
Exactly. And the thing is that the person they hired, all he does is the grass, and he's like, oh, I have nothing to do with that. Well, if people don't start caring, it's going to be
Well, that's right. People got to
place.
start caring. That's why I called in, because you guys are at the heart of the matter here. All you got to do is get like 10, 20 minutes from each person or in the area. And if they don't want to do nothing, that's fine. But you got to try to get everybody involved. So you say, hey, yeah, we can put beautiful plants that you like here, and you won't have all this invasive, and you'll be able to use your land. Otherwise, pretty soon you'll no longer be able to use your land that you love so much because it'll be blanketed with invasive plants.
Yeah, and that's
So
basically...
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but unfortunately, when we took down these 3-foot wide trees and had a proper tree removal company that was absolutely wonderful, Hanaho is the best. I can say what I want on KKCR. They were the best.
Right.
And all the safety precautions, everything. And the new owners of the house next door is like, why are you killing our forest?
Oh, yeah, they love the trees. And you're like, well, you know, it's Hawaii, it'll grow and
their
palm
property go. Everything is invasive species trees.
Right, I know.
And they
just love all the trees. Some of the people, they're crazy. They like, I love the albizia. I'm like, I'm looking at a 200-foot tall one. If it falls on me and my kid and my wife, we're going to be bummed. We're not going to be around anymore.
Exactly. And they don't realize some of that stuff is not native and it's invasive. It'll choke everything.
That's right.
Like when I pull them...
It's dangerous, too. Limbs fall. They get half rotten. You try to trim it. Guys get hurt.
And it's almost like that, like the one I have on my land that's creeping all over with the small leaves. It has that little, that end that kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a movie where you see that end is just creeping and crawling and then it attaches and it grabs onto it. It's going all over my satellite. It's like, geez.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of people that are living off us, too.
Exactly.
Sorry,
well,
not
we're
to
hitting on the
change
point, though,
subject,
that if
but
we
it's
all...
It's kind of a good relation.
And if you didn't know to get involved, there's this, that's who sent out this message, was the Kauai Invasive Species Committee.
Yeah.
And they're getting help with the Hawaiian organization on the DLNR that I'm a part of with the Ahamoku.
You can donate your time for that or whatever, volunteer.
Yeah, but one problem is like, sure, I'd like to go a little amount of help, but my land is covered with this stuff, so it's like,
exactly.
I can help you guys, but I got to do my own stuff.
Yeah, you got to start where your passion is at your home.
Yeah,
I got to. I'm out here doing my plants today and doing a bunch of planting and this and that because I like to, but also sometimes I sell them to their jobs. But at the same time, they're all the weeded invasive species we're talking about are all growing in my pots. I got to weed them all out and little albicias, everything. So I put little things around there, little tar papers in the pots so that stuff doesn't grow.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is there's so many seeds. You got the African tulip with the red flower. You got the Java plum. And all these things, the albizia, they all seed times thousands and thousands. So they sprout everywhere.
Exactly.
And then you get a bird eating one of the fruits, and then it poops, and all of a sudden you have 10 papaya trees in your yard.
So we're all not talking about, getting rid of it immediately. But over a long period of time, generation to generation, we could thin it out. I mean, we could try. Maybe we ain't going to be successful, but it's better to do something and have your land and then do something again and do something again and keep it back. So however you can.
Yeah.
Keep it
that my
spreading.
neighborhood was like that. We all worked together, but then as they passed away, now it's all people that have come from the East Coast of the United States.
And it is a different mindset.
California.
You have to agree, there's a different mindset.
It is. I was working for a guy. I had to explain to him, this is not Southern California.
So nobody could see them.
Things cost more here. It costs more to go to it costs more to go. Everything, I don't know. I tried to explain to him. He thought that he could do landscaping.
And the new yard people that come to your yards, they don't do anything. They just do the yard, weed whack, and blow.
Yeah, they don't grow anything that they can eat, I think people should grow more edible food, even if you got a little raised bed or something. I don't know.
No, so, talking to you...
I got to go because I got to get on the road. But
no, mahalo.
Okay,
enjoying your show.
Aloha no.
It's great to hear you guys at least, hitting on stuff and I'm telling my boss, don't buy this stuff, don't plant this stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah, I want this and I want Hawaii fern. That's all I want. I'm like, okay.
There you go. I mean, educate him when you can,
I do. And he starts to catch on because he's like, I want you to cut this back. This is growing all over the place. I'm like, okay, yeah, we got to get rid of that. He's like, okay. Now he says okay after he planted it everywhere, you know.
Well, at least he's gotten the light, you know, eventually. You know what I mean? That's the main thing.
Well, with the Hawaiian occupation here, you know, we try to do what we can to get rid of invasive species, but there is a more important issue, and that is the illegal occupation, and it is being ignored. And I love your guys' shows and talking all about it. And, you know, my dad was in Vietnam for 4 years, and I ain't going to war for them because he told me not to. And, you know, it's just gotten out of control, everything with America and how powerful, and they can just do things. And then the world's not supposed to be able to do those things. They're not supposed to be able to, Geneva Convention rules and all this and that are not supposed to be ignored, but somehow they just so powerful that, you know?
Yep, and then it's funny sometimes when and I know we're going off the subject, but it's like, these are issues that affect everybody. When the Americans complain, well, why are we paying for everything? It's like, because we use 1/3 of the resources. We're using most of the resources, and that's documented. So that's where you have to take the responsibility. But it's so enlightening to hear other people talk that we do have the mindset. There are many out there. It's just how do we gel to get the proper mindset and have to weed out these other ones that are not overall good for everybody. You have to be concerned about everybody.
Yeah, some people say they're with it and they want legal occupation to be gone, and they want to start anew and this and that, but really then they go and they act different. They just say that when they say that.
Exactly, and that's what we were talking about. Locals, like I can hear from you. Are you Hawaiian?
No, I'm not Hawaiian.
But I can feel your mindset.
Part Cherokee, part Creek, part Italian, part Irish.
And you have the mindset, and that's what I appreciate. Yeah. And that's why we call locals. You may not be Hawaiian, but you locals because you in with us. You understand.
Yeah, they called me local at Tahiti, and that's where I was like, what? I'm local at Tahiti, Uncle Vite. You local? You're not. I'm like, what do you mean I'm local, bro? I only lived there a few years and in Tahiti. And then now I'm out here because I got the family. I've been here about 12 years. But it's all about knowing what's going on and knowing the truth.
And doing what's right.
Truth out there. I know what the truth is. I have some good friends that explain things to me I didn't know before, you know?
Yep, just like this.
Years ago I learned.
I didn't know about this Salvania thing. It's like, now I know, and it's good.
I know, yeah. I was listening to radio. I found out.
Hey, good. So we can take that knowledge and help out.
Yep. Thanks a lot for your show, and just keep up the good work.
Mahalo no.
Okay. Aloha.
Aloha.
Mahalo. Maruru Roa from Tahiti.
There you go.
Okay. Aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo no. No, that was wrong. Mahalo nui. I was getting mixed up with aloha no. That's what I meant to say. But it's nice to hear that common, just doing what it's right, educating people and taking care of the aina, taking care of the land. Sometimes I support scientific knowledge. I support looking for other planets, but don't spend all your time looking for planets and you're destroying the one that we're on. No makes sense. No makes sense. Whatever you believe in, you got to admit, this is the only place we got. Muslim, Christian, Democrat, Republican, Chinese, Japanese, Hawaiian. We only got one place. And you look at what's happening around the world. If you don't get it to this point that we're not taking care of this place, then God, I don't know if you can be helped. I mean, like over 10 years ago, we went to LA and I looked at my wife and said, look. And it happened to be on a day when we looked up in the sky and we were seeing this jet take off and we could barely see it. And we're in downtown LA and then we looked down the street. We couldn't see down the road. About a block, it just got all hazy. But we have all our lights and our flashing and we have Dancing with the Stars. And I was like, whoa, are we dancing our heads in the sand? Our skies are being filled with smut. Our rivers are being filled with, we don't even know what it is sometimes. Our lands are being creepy crawled by plants that can't be contained. So it's always refreshing to hear other people with the mindset that we have to take care of our Mother Earth. This is all we got, people. Fracking, I'm not a scientist, but that just doesn't sound good. And when they show you what it actually does with going down, really? Well, we want to crack open the surface of the earth so we can get more stuff, so we can make more money? Age-old thing, right? Do whatever you can to make that dollar bill, even if it means spill the oil. Hey. And can you imagine, everyone's going, well, not everybody, but build the pipeline because we can save, from Canada down to Texas to refineries. We can build that. What do they call it? I forget what they call but just one disaster. I mean, we've seen it in the Gulf. It's still not cleaned up. Our friends from Louisiana, me and my wife were shocked. Brought them to our house, took them to our special place. And his family, they had 3 teenage kids, well, actually 4, 3 boys and a girl from Louisiana. I love the southern drawl. And we were in our house and we gave them a glass of water. Where was this from? Well, this is from our tap. Really? This is tap water? And we looked at them, don't you have tap water? And they said, no, we have to buy bottled water. The thing's dirty. And we take that for granted here, yet that's happening on the mainland, and you don't hear about it. And we looked at them, for real? They go, yeah, we have to buy bottled water. We don't dare drink anything out of the tap. It's like, wow. Shouldn't that be an issue? That should be, yet no one heard of it? I have to be told by people who actually live there, yeah, we don't drink the water from the tap, man. It's too dirty. What? That should be something spread over all the news agencies. You got a problem. You can't drink water in Louisiana in certain areas, where at least where they're from, is dirty. That's why they're so happy to come here and they go, blue water, whoa. Even when we watch some of the television shows, and it's like, damn, that water is all brown, gray, yuck. And then, like Sister Cheryl, I didn't know this before she passed, let us know, we dump our sewage. May be treated, but it's still treated sewage. It's only a mile off the shore. Only a mile off the shore that we swim. We throw our treated stuff out there. We're swimming in crap. I mean, this is progress? This is human beings attaining a higher level of consciousness? 200 years ago, Hawaiian didn't crap in the ocean in a massive amount. You hit it. You cleaned it. But we're so advanced that, no, we can crap it, treat it, and throw it out a mile out where we swim, where we go fish. Whatever.
Aloha, I'm Pat Durkin with your KKCR Beach and Ocean Safety Tip for today. The safest places to swim are at beaches with lifeguards. On Kauai, we have 7 lifeguard stations. On the North Shore, they are located at Hai'ana Beach Park and the Hanalei Pavilion. On the east side, lifeguards are at Kealia Beach Park and Lydgate Park. South to west side locations are Poipu Beach Park, Salt Pond Park, and Keikaha Beach Park. These stations are staffed 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Always check in with lifeguards no matter where you plan to swim. Conditions can change rapidly. For more information about today's ocean conditions on Kauai, visit KauaiExplorer.com. With today's beach and ocean safety tip, I'm Pat Durkin for KKCR Radio. Have fun and be safe.
Rico Business Solutions, Kauai's copy systems supplier. Sales, lease, and service of all Rico.
Okay, everything's working great right now. Playing when not playing, playing when not playing, supposed to play. Okay, going back to the ocean report. High surf warnings for east-facing shores, which is basically the north side. Kauai, you're looking basically from Princeville down to maybe Poipu. That may be a little bit too far, but at least to Lihue. You got the major guy up above us, and hopefully it stays there, but it's going to probably whip some stuff coming down with pumping up the surf and from the north side. So thankfully, Lester went north, but Kauai will still feel the effects of this powerful storm. Roughest at east and north exposed locations. Winds clocking from easterly to north, then west, calmer on the southwest facing shores. Always use caution, especially when unfamiliar. We tell people, I know you guys want to go to that exotic place, yeah? But don't go swimming where there is nobody. You don't know the currents over there. Go where it's safe. So if something does happen, where other people are, they can help you. Ha'ena is about 4 to 8. Honolulu 2 to 6. Then you got the east side. Kealia, Lydgate. They're looking at 15 to 20. Even to 25, which means if you don't know what you're doing, don't go out. Okay? Don't go out. And then it slows down from Poipua all the way around to Kekaha. So it's the north-facing, easter-facing. Again, from like Princeville all the way down to Kapa'alihue. Okay? Cranking. You don't know what you're doing? No go out. Okay? It's safer that way. And sometimes you just got to watch. We tell many people here 2 things. First, the ocean will tell you not to go in. That's why if you're around local people and everyone's around there, hey, they can help you out. We can like, and no, don't go in. Took our friends to a special place. Hey, can't go in. They're so disappointed, but it's like, do you want to be disappointed? You want to be dead. Okay? You can play with your life. You're going to go down there. We're looking at it. Can't take you down. We can look at it, but we're not going to go down there to go swimming. It's a no swimming time. Okay? Same thing like my wife. And it happens to a lot, even local people. You got to watch. She was in the area just like today, but not as bad. It wasn't a hurricane out there, but it was a high surf warning on the east side. Her and her friends went to the east side, that very spot that they were coming in, Moloa side. And obviously we all do it. They were playing around. They were having fun. Didn't realize they were drifting out. Started to panic. Luckily, they were safe and they came back. But it just shows you have to watch what you're doing. And if you don't know, make sure you go with other people around there until you can ask, especially with lifeguards. All the stuff, the safety precautions that we're talking about, it's not just because we're talking on top, because people have not made it back by not following the instructions and not taking precautions. And I know, I've done it myself. Go koke'e. I mean, it's up there, but it's the same principle. Sign says no go in. Think we so, and now again, I mean, my cousin go out. 4 foot wide, kalalau, look out. On the sides, big drop. I get him, just stay over here. Boom, boom, sunny day, walking out. Boom, as you know on Kauai, it can change in a second. Clouds came in, we couldn't see our feet, we had to crawl back, knowing that if we crawled to the wrong side, we were going to fall over. Luckily, we were able to learn from that experience. Don't do that again. Some people, they don't have the chance to learn from the mistake because that mistake is their last. Take precautions and be safe, okay? And yeah, I was going to go through the DI stuff, but hey, it happens. This is life. This other thing came up. People called in, so hey, we'll stick with that. But I just want to go over the one more time is because, as the callers were mentioning, it takes a concerted effort to get the stuff back under control. And the one that I was sent by the Kauai Invasive Species Committee, I don't have the background how they got set up, but it's a weed alert. It's called Salvinia molesta. Molesta, really? Giant Salina or Salvinia. I don't know what that is. It's called a Kariba weed aquarium water moss. Okay? And they show like the one on Lake Wilson, Oahu, and it's just covering the whole thing. It's a water fern that can reproduce extremely rapidly, doubling in its numbers 2 to 10 days. Extremely small fragments are viable, which means just small fragments can grow back. Big problem on Lake Wilson. Could have been avoided with awareness and prevention. Native to Brazil, which means it was brought here. Plant is illegal and prohibited in the U.S. How to get here? And I got a caller right on to do this real quick. Garden, pond, and aquarium trade. Okay? is what brought it over here. And we're going to go right to the line because callers are always priority. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Randy. How are you doing today?
Hey, how you been doing? I've been missing your little texts, but I know you're busy too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to tell you it's Salvinia.
Salvinia, there you go.
Salvinia. And the really big deal is you got to wash your boats, your nets, your floats, all your gear, everything, your dogs, when they go from one water to the next. Because it's already in a couple, 3 waters here. And it's been in the state since about 2002. It was a really huge issue on Lake Wilson on Oahu, and the state spent over $2 million getting rid of it there. So what happened here was the initial assault was chemical, and it was being sprayed along the riverbanks.
Great.
Kilauea River, and then the Department of Agriculture was told they could not do that anymore. So nothing has been done since. On the other islands, it was mechanical removal. Here it was chemical or nothing. But there wasn't any publicity put out about, hey, don't spread this stuff.
Exactly.
Wash your gear. And we got it on our farm about 3 years ago.
You did.
With no connection to water source, it appeared in stock tanks. And we got 3 different kinds of water weeds that came in, I believe, on birds. I think it was cattle egrets because they sit on my ponds and eat my fish. So all it takes is one little piece on their feathers, because these are just stock tanks, and and I have them with plant cinnamon fish as mosquito kind eradication. I bait the mosquitoes in to lay their eggs there, and then the fish eat them, and then they aren't in every little cup of water, in the jungle. They're there, and they get eaten and dealt with. So I have a whole bunch of these, and they all got Salvinia with no water contact, no water input, no fish or flower input from any outside source. It just appeared. And all of a sudden, my tanks crashed. My pretty flowers weren't anymore. I didn't have water lilies or lotuses. All I had was a flat mat of Salvinia. And at first, it's kind of pretty when there's 1 or 2, and it does drop the water temp down. And I kind of feel sorry for my fish in a black stock tank, Yeah. So I thought, well, this is good, a little chill for them. But then it took over. And some of them, I thought my water lilies were gone because they were not evident anywhere. But I got rid of the Salvinia, and guess what came back within a couple of days of having sun again. So right now it's in the Kilauea River estuary up to where it gets too shallow for boats, where the islands are in the middle of the river. And it's on both sides wherever there's sun.
Really? So it's spreading fast. Well, no one, like you said, there wasn't really any news on this.
Yeah. Well, we had to clean up about a couple weeks ago. It was actually 2 weeks ago on Monday. And in places got 6 feet sticking out into the river of wet vegetative masses stuff, and got it out of there. But now it's grown back about an inch or 2 in 2 weeks.
And when Auntie Aggie sent this thing out for us, and I know you're Konihiki on the Pe'uli side, I want to be there, but my land is all taken over. It's not by Salvinia. Did I say that right again? Salvinia. Sounds like a country in Eastern Europe.
Yeah. But, well, when you type it, it autocorrects to Slovenia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you see, my place, I got covered with all that other, which I don't know what it is. It's covering. And what's funny with that weed is, I cleared a path, so I thought I cut it off. But this one goes underground, so it's in the soil. So I'm looking at it, and it's like, how did it move from here to here? I don't see anything stranglers or anything. Runners. It goes underground. It's like, oh, great.
That's probably, bindweed is all over in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, with the small little...
3 heart-shaped leaves.
Yeah. I know it's spreading all over. And then when I did the research, as I said earlier, that was brought in the Big Island at the turn of the century to camouflage outhouses.
Yep.
Now it's in a major, again, people bringing in stuff that they don't know what it is. And even sometimes it's the scientists themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're bringing it up and it goes amok.
Yep. And this one, just because they couldn't use chemicals, they should have come instantly with Plan B, or told us, the community, and let us do Plan B. But to let it be spread for the past couple years is not a good thing.
And not to say anything, because according to this, like you said, just a small, minute one, this is going to be hard to get rid of.
Yeah, and if it's being spread by birds, it's going to be in every water source. It doesn't stand up to currents. And actually, it takes the sun away from the river, but it needs the sun, so it doesn't grow under how bush.
And like you said, and it doesn't go good in currents.
Yeah.
So if the water,
black water.
Okay. So mostly like stagnant kind of water. Like
it loves ponds. It loves little streams that run slow. You know, Kilauea's got some current and tidal influence. It also doesn't like salt.
Well, I'm imagining. I haven't gone to our river in ages because it's all messed up on my land. But I probably imagine it's probably in Waipaque at this time too.
Probably. If we got it in our water features, it's all over.
It's all over.
Yeah, and you know. I got to go talk to the guys who maintain water features and see how much they got to deal with it already. It can be mulched in. It can be gotten rid of. It only can live in water. And actually, I pulled mine out of my tanks, and I'm growing the heck out of Olena in it. You know, but you have to keep it away from water, and you have to cover it so it doesn't be transported by anything, you know, so no birds can pick it up and spread it someplace else.
Right. And just to finish this article, it says, why is it harmful? That thing alters productivity of fresh waters, reducing fishery yields. Thick mats prevent oxygen absorption into water and blocks light, shading out the underwater plants and killing fish.
Yep. Lake Wilson had 500 tons of, they call them sport fish. They're, you know, bass and tilapia and toucan.
Right.
And they got real freaked out. They were going to have a massive fish stink on their hands. And they, you know, floated opposable thumb excavators on barges and lifted it out. They actually had the Army and the Marines in on that one, but the state spent $2 million.
Which means what? It's a serious problem.
Well, I don't know. I sure hope they washed their stuff really good before they moved it somewhere else.
And the article says how to control it. It says prevent new infestations, report infestations of all sizes. Early detection and eradication are crucial to controlling the Salvinia.
Yep. You got to talk about it. There's this one weevil that eats it, and they're using it in Texas and Florida. But I don't believe it's been approved for here. And it only lives on Salvinia, supposedly, and it burrows its way in. They're kind of fleshy things, and lays its egg inside the stem, and then the babies eat their way out and eat the thing. And they've had really good success. Texas has been had real problems with Salvinia. But we got to be real conscious of not spreading it everywhere, and if you see it, get rid of it. I sent you a link to a video on the Kilauea cleanup.
Right, I got that.
Okay, so you can see what it looks like and where it is, and if you've noticed it, and just so people, you know, can be aware of it and watch out for it is the big thing. And you can call the KISC people, the invasive species guys, or I think there's a 643-PEST.
Well, the number for the Kauai Invasive Species Committee, they put it on that flyer, is 246-0684. That's for the Kauai Invasive Species Committee. If you see, or if you know any other stuff going on. Because I remember we had someone on the air when I explained the one, I don't know if you know that vine that I was talking about that's mostly on our lands. he said it's so widespread that he was a state health department. He said it's not worth it because it's too much out of control, and he feels that there's no way we can stop it. I was like, oh, great.
That might be statewide, but you can sure control it on your land.
Yeah,
you can't. You got too much land.
And you got to catch every single, because
right.
when I went to the they have downtown where they can give you information about products and stuff. And even when I took invasive species to them, and they said, well, you got to find the main root. And I thought I did. I went around and I cut it open and put some pesticide, and the thing came back.
Yeah.
It was like, it didn't even hurt it. So it's like, just like this GMO stuff, are we, we're already creating super bugs and super weeds. I think there's more super invasive species coming out. It's like, they're getting like, can't control them. I mean, we can do the best I can, but it's getting kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Where these plants don't give up and these nasty things. And what is it all from? From our own stupidity, right? It's our own stupidity who brought it in.
Well, speaking of getting nuts, you seen them parakeets up in your trees lately?
Haven't seen them in my trees.
Oh, man. There's people that didn't get a lychee at all this year.
Huh.
And I noticed the first ones up in our area in March. The scouts came, and now they're flying in every night into the woods.
Wow. I know one thing that we've had a problem of in Waipahu in the last couple of years, I know, is bees. And we've had 2 big hordes come in, but we get these like nutty bees. Single ones that come in the house and it looks like they're retarded or something.
Oh.
Yeah, and they can't, and they just get stuck and they can't fly out, and they look like there's something majorly physically wrong with them. Yeah. And we've been concerned with that and I know there's some beekeepers close by, but I've never had a problem with, not a major problem of infestation a couple times with major bee populations on our property, but these stragglers, they look like they're disoriented.
Huh.
So I've been asking around what's going on with that. And we tried to save the bees the last time, but the last time I called, and I won't mention the name of the property, they charged me $200.
Whoa.
And I was like, hey, I'd like to save the bees, but the last time I had them, I just got $10 worth of cans of Black Flag, and I'm sorry, but I sprayed them. I was, and then I realized we have one guy here who's a beekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
So now I can call KKC. But at that time, I didn't know. I didn't want to pay $200 again for just a guy who come out and spray this little... And he killed it, too. I thought we were trying to save the bees. He goes, no, we got to kill them. I was like, okay. So the next time it happened, I was like, I'd like to save you. But at that time, I had to do something really quick because we had our baby granddaughter there. I was like, hey, I can't have this swarm close by and stuff. But just recently, I've seen some stragglers, and they look papuli bees.
Huh.
They just keep on going around in circles. Not like a normal bee. They're just like they're disoriented.
Yeah, like those crazy ants.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I know you've seen a lot of changes on your land. I've seen a lot of changes on our land. It's an every day to keep it clean. I actually have to go back and do some more. I got to pull more of those viney things that's crawling over everything.
Mm-hmm. A lot of rain this summer. So.
But I got to talk to you guys because there's this one tree on our land. I don't know its name, but I noticed this vine thing, or that crappy invasive species, does not go on this tree for some reason. It'll attack the koa, it'll attack everything else, but it won't go on this one tree.
Oh, must be strong and...
Or some kind of chemical reaction, maybe we can
Yep. And, Salvinia, in Brazil, it probably has a very important place in the ecosystem,
But not here.
It doesn't mean it's a bad plant, it's just in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And that's the real definition of a weed. It's in the wrong place. And actually, Salvinia is being looked at as a cancer fighter.
Ah.
So maybe there's a market for it. Who
right.
knows? Maybe somebody will pay to take it out of our rivers. Who knows?
And, even like the problem that they had, the health department had, the commercial I haven't seen it recently, about people throwing their aquatic fish into the streams.
Yep.
And then them become invasive because they grow really huge, right? And they start taking over the native species. So it's just everybody out there got to just use common sense.
Yep. And that's probably where this came from. Either it was somebody intentionally just dumped their aquarium into the river because they were over it, or somebody had a pond and the water came up and it washed into the river.
Well, according to the article from the flyer from the Kauai Invasive Species Committee, it does say, how did it get here? It says garden ponds and aquarium trade.
Yep.
Or they said, or small fragments accidentally introduced into water bodies in aquatic ornaments.
Oh, sure. Yep. But the vegetative amount that it takes to reproduce is pretty teeny. And it's just like a little notch with two little leaves and some root hairs, and it'll grow. So,
and it's
or
a blanket,
you get it out into the current, or you get it in salt water, and that will both kill it. But it can't be up into the tules and in the buffalo grass because it'll stay there forever. And really, what it does, it's kind of a public safety issue because it makes a false illusion of solid ground. Like you look at it and it looks like a grassy mat. And people go walk in it and they have actually drowned in 2 feet of water because they got all caught up and the buffalo grass and everything. It's like, getting trapped in a kelp forest. And literally they've drowned in 2 or 3 feet of water in it.
Well, it's funny you said that because one of the faraway pictures that they show in this flyer, I was like, what are they talking about? It says the infested lake. And it looks like you said, it looks like a grassy area.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a lake?
Yep. Used to be.
So I can see how people would just go in and go boom and then go down like 2 feet. And then the smaller picture where they take it looks like a small bulb of it. And it has small leaves. And it looks like limu on it. It has really fine hairs on it.
Yep.
So it's thick. And so I can see how if someone gets trapped in it and you start turning or you go the wrong way, you're going to get all tangled up.
Yep. And you can't tell that you aren't at the river's edge. I mean, you can't tell where the definition of water and land is anymore. It's not good.
No, and the picture that I'm looking at backs you up. You can't tell where it ends and where it starts.
Right.
And it really looks like a grass field.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Wow.
And if the water ever drops and there's no current in the middle, that's when it really spreads fast, too. So it needs the sun, it needs kind of slack water, and it doesn't like salt. That's sort of the best things we got going. So if it washes out into the ocean, it dies.
Well, it didn't mention on where exactly this was happening, but did you get that flyer? Because I'm trying to look on where they're saying it's actually happening. There's only a mention from Auntie Aggie that Aliomanu had a cleanup, but it wasn't. She doesn't say it was actually there.
Well, no, Kilauea, it's in the estuary up to the islands, and it's in the lower part of Kealia, and I believe Makai Limahuli also.
Okay. Well, then we do appreciate the efforts of them getting the word out and the Ahamoku getting involved and see what we can do to help curb this one of many invasive species that are attacking our island.
Yep, you got to wash your nets away from the river's edge. Make sure you don't spread it. Wash your SUPs and your PUPs because it gets on dogs and it gets caught in their hair and then they just go jump in the water someplace else and bang, you got it.
Dang, I mean, it sounds more like a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Ice Nine.
You know, it really is getting that crazy where some of the movies of the past is like, we told you. You know, this is a possibility. You guys don't watch and don't take care. This is what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate your thoughts and your information. It was so nice to hear from you because I was thinking about you guys like, I haven't heard from them. I got to call them.
Yep. Well, Tim was working on the cleanup and worked really hard on getting a lot of that stuff out of there. And we want to thank the KNA and Heart and Soul Organics and Mr. Summers, who let his land be used as a staging area, and everybody that helped. It's a community effort. So, and it's not over. It won't be over until it's off this island. So
definitely, and like you said, Hope, it's a community effort. One person cannot do this. It's going to have to be the community that gets together to tackle
this. And
this.
the people can't do it. We need agency help, and the agencies can't do it without the people's help. So it's not going to work just to stand and point the finger and wait for somebody else to do it.
Yeah, and like you and has shown the Ahamoku, the little cleanup that we did. Sometimes you don't need all this fancy funding and everything. You just get the community to put in some time.
Yeah.
Even though we have to clean up our own lands too, you know what I mean? You got your stuff, I got my. It's like, oh my God, seeing this stuff, it's just like a blanket covering my land. And sometimes I just get so frustrated because you pull, you try to get it, and they come back. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, well, many hands sure make a difference.
Yeah, we got to do what we got to do.
Yep.
So I appreciate you so much. Tell Tim hello too, and so nice to hear from you guys.
Yep, I got to go pull him out of the ring. He's not going to quit work.
I got to go do some work when I get back home too.
Well, thank you for covering Salvinia.
Salvinia.
Molesta. It is a molestation of our streams.
And mahalo for calling in. Share my knowledge.
Aloha.
Aloha no. Hope Kalai, very knowledgeable and very appreciative on her efforts, and her husband Tim, and all they do for not only for the environment but for Hawaiian issues. Very, very supportive. And with that, we're going to end it with a song. But aloha no to all of you who called in and expressed your thoughts. That's what it's all about. And Naleo, Hawaiian issues. Aloha no.
Not sure. That's where I like to be in the winter time. Not sure what the thrill it will be when you go down the line. I wake up in the morning, ready to hit the road. Don't forget your load. We're cruising down the highway, we're jamming to the reggae beat in the tropical heat. Not sure way out in the country what the sight to see. Not sure where the waves are mean, just like a washing machine. winter time. Not sure what the thrill it will be when you go down the line. Not sure way out in the country, what the sight to see. Not sure where the waves are mean, just like a washing machine.